incorporate our defensemen in our offensive drills a little bit. We want our defenders to handle the ball better. We want them to be able to be successful when we run out from the defensive end, and we want them to be able to be successful in the transition game. We want them to be able to play in a broken situation, in tight quarters, be able to pick up a ball and move it very quickly. So what we've done here is we've created a 3-versus-2 challenge. It began doing it offensively, and again, we felt what was good for the goose was good for the gander, and if it helped our offense, it certainly could help our defense. It's pretty simple, and it's actually a lot of fun. We will put 5 minutes on the clock on the scoreboard, and the blue team will play offense for 5 minutes. We'll count the goals. We'll flip-flop it. The white team will then move to offense, and we'll count the goals. Winner, loser, and we either get on the end line, we got push-ups, or you just do it for pride. There's conversation in everything we do in the sport of lacrosse, and it's one of the most underappreciated parts of defense. It's amazing the mistakes that you can cover for with conversation and making sure everybody is on the same page. You may be on the wrong page, but if everybody's on the wrong page together, you can overcome some different odds. The coach, if I can get my pointer, is right up here. He's lobbing balls, and there are 3 offensive players and 2 defensive players. The difference is this is done with tennis balls. So now again, soft hands, quality of pass. All right, it's great for our goalies. The last thing we want our goalies to be is in this drill with lacrosse balls. Defensively, it works on our alignment. You saw a great stick arrival there by the defenseman rotating in and out. It works on conversation. And Rick Pitino and, as I found out, Tom Crane from Indiana basketball both have this philosophy on deflections. And I found it really interesting, and I found it to be very pertinent or to correlate very well from basketball to lacrosse. So what they do is they stat deflections. So in this drill, it encourages us to do a good job with deflections. Now there are a lot of things that go into deflections. There are a lot of different things you can do to fit into that category. So a deflection is simple. It's a tip ball, or a knock, when you knock a ball down. It's an intercepted pass, okay? It's forcing a turnover. So people stat takeaways. I don't know if we want to encourage takeaways because, unfortunately, that encourages risk. When you explain it with deflections, you're not encouraging that risk. All right? So I think it resonates a little bit better with the young guys. We count playing good defense and driving a guy into the crease, a deflection. We count dives as a deflection, meaning a guy diving for a ball, a guy diving for a check, a guy beating another guy to the end line and getting a ball. Those are all deflections, and what they measure more than anything, guys, isn't tip balls. It's the level of your defensive intensity. It helps in the transition game, and it creates some tempo in your practice, and I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. This is enjoyable if I turn the sound up, which I may be able to do. I'll let it run for a second. Let's go! Poor approach. Great tempo to the start of practice. There's another deflection of defenseman, not a great pass. You can turn it down a little bit now, thank you. So you'll see, it's a really simple drill, but what a great way to start practice. It's the simplest form of the game. It's a 3-on-2 to a 2-on-1 to a 1-on-none. And you've got offensive players working defensively, again working on their conversation. You're working on approaches to a ball. You're working on skip lanes and those deflections that we talked about. Your goalie's getting some work, and quite frankly, your offense is getting a lot of touches and a lot of work in tight quarters. Now here's the part I haven't explained. If you notice, Everything is very tight. So what we've done in this drill is we've moved the goal back to the women's crease line. So the goal is in the women's crease. And I don't know a ton about the women's game, and I don't want to claim to. But the women have their arc. So they have the two lines going up the side and the arc. Everything we do in this drill has to be done within that small area.